Well, hello everybody. This is July the 4th, 2025. It is a Friday. It is the holiday. It's 11 a.m. and it is hot. It's probably over 90 degrees, probably. It is a hot day. So I am bringing Stephen a bottle of cold water, and I see that he has shaved off the bottom of that shelf that he was showing in yesterday's video. So I clearly see that bottom of the shelf is gone, which means that he decided to incorporate that into the headache rack. Look at all these straps here. And, well, you can see the perspiration right here on the water. So happy 4th of July to you all. It's also my sister's birthday. My younger sister was born on the 4th of July. She was born in 1979 on the 4th of July. She's 46 years old today, and guess what, you all? I'm also 46. What? How are you 46? Your sister's 46 today, and you're 46? Yes, that's right. On paper, I'm the same age as my sister today. On paper, we are what you call Irish twins. Now, my birthday is July 31, and I'll be 47. So, from between July the 4th and July 31, on paper, my sister and I always are the same year. So, I was born July 31, 78, and she was born July 4th, 79. So, my sister was born before my first birthday. Isn't that something? That's called an Irish twin. Are y'all familiar with that? If you have a sibling that is born before your first birthday, that is called an Irish twin. So my sister Faith is my Irish twin. And there's a story about that. If it goes back to Irish immigrants coming into Ellis Island in the days of immigration. And let me step back so you can hear me better. So the way I understand it is in the early part of the century when Irish immigrants were coming into Ellis Island and they were settling in New England and New York and Massachusetts. There's a high Irish population that they had multiple children really fast, and I mean that they basically multiplied like rabbits, basically. And I don't mean that to be derogatory, so please forgive me if that sounds derogatory. I apologize. But they had large families. And anyway, so if you had a sibling that was born before your first birthday, they called that an Irish twin. So I do have an Irish twin. All that to say happy birthday, July 4th, to my sister Faith. Shout out to Faith. And then I have a cousin whose birthday is tomorrow, and he was born on 7/5/75. Isn't that something? He was born on 7/5/75. Now you talk about numbers. So tomorrow, my oldest cousin's going to be 50 tomorrow. So, and my brother, he'll be 50 in August. And he's my oldest sibling. He'll be 50 in August. We're all getting old. And I'm just trying to stay out of Stephen's way. Did you get hurt? So my mother, she had 4 kids in 5 years. 4 kids in 5 years. I'm just thankful I had the one child. Just the one. Stephen has a 20. How old is William? I think William is 24 or 25. So Stephen has a 20-something-year-old, but I just have the one. Stephen's son just actually graduated from the Air Force Academy in Colorado. My stepson, he is now in the Air Force. He graduated on May 1st? May 1st he graduated from the Air Force Academy in Colorado. I'm just trying to stay out of Steven's way. He gets annoyed with me. Guess I'll set this down here. So you all, last July 4th, we had a water leak underneath the house. And Steven spent July 4th of last year hours and hours underneath our house fixing an extreme water leak. So there's no rest for the weary on the holidays. We were going back through Facebook memories. On Steven's phone, I pulled up all kinds of Facebook memories. And yeah, that was a pretty hard thing to deal with on a holiday. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess, whether it was a holiday or not. It was very unpleasant and uncomfortable that he was having to deal. Our water bill had just skyrocketed. I mean, literally, like a 4th of July firework had skyrocketed. And we discovered that we had a water leak and it had to be taken care of. And it happened to be on July 4th last year. So that was really fun. But it was interesting going back and looking at those Facebook memories. Y'all like Facebook memories? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on what it is. Let me know in the comments if you like Facebook memories. I guess it really just would depend on the memory. If they brought back something bad from Facebook, then you wouldn't like it. But for the most part, Facebook memories can be fun for the most part. We're going to watch some fireworks tonight at our church, which is right down the road, Cerulean Baptist Church, which is literally within walking distance. Having a cookout tonight, and we're gonna have a firework display and a cookout, and of course just missing AJ for that terribly.
And this is more work putting this cabinet in than it was if I just built my own shelf.
Oh
yeah, I had to put it all apart and reassemble it back inside, and it fell apart 999,000 trillion billion freaking times. So what I really need to do is get my welder out here and weld it all together so it don't come back apart, because I'm sure it will. In fact, I can see it coming apart right now. So the best thing to do is just weld it.
So you just brought on more work than you had planned for yourself?
Yeah, I was putting it in there because I wanted less work, but it turns out it was 10 times more work.
Isn't that the way it goes? Oh, while you're looking at the hinges, one of our subscribers said on a comment about the hinges, if you take it apart and reinstall it upside down.
That's what I said last night. I not only said it once, but I said it probably a dozen times. One of the things I can do is to take these rivets out and flip it upside down, because it doesn't wear on the top side. So it'd be like brand new.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. I guess he was just clarifying that.
See? So it's wore down because it sits there and vibrates while you're driving. The ones on the cab do the same thing. So you just take them off and just flip them upside down.
Okay, well, I guess maybe somebody heard you say that and they were just validating that.
Well, it's a good idea. I mean, it's a lot more work than just taking them off and putting them on. So, just like putting this freaking cabinet in.
Oh, you got your old shoes on today. Those are not your new Hey Dudes.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a freaking nightmare. I need to get my welder out.
Oh, wait, here, take a water break. I got you some cold water. That is just an example right there of when you try to do something and take a shortcut, it can actually create more work, actually, which is Stephen is finding out. Did you remember, Stephen? I saw on Facebook Memories, do you remember what you were doing a year ago on this day?
You get a freaking hernia trying to get this out.
Woo! That's your impact wrench, right?
That's the whole reason why I bought the headache rack, is to put them tools in there.
So that you don't have to have them up underneath your bed like that, right? So do you remember what you were doing this day last year? You were fixing a water leak underneath the house.
Imagine that. I'm always fixing something. No rest for the weary.
Well, here, have some rest.
I'm not looking for some rest. I'm looking to get this done.
Well, I think you should drink.
The sun gets out there, and then I'm really going to be in trouble.
Yeah, no rest for the weary. So whether it's a water leak or whether it's doing something to the truck, you're always doing something. That's too bad. That was a nice little shelf in our storage container.
Oh, here we go with that.
No, but you said it's only too bad in the sense that it's not working like you want it to work. That's what
it's in there now. I'm gonna weld it up. The problem is it fell apart 10,000 trillion billion freaking times. And it wasn't easy putting it back together inside that little cubicle. That's the problem. I would put it together and it would fall apart. I would put it together, it would fall apart. I would put it together, it would fall apart. Put it together, it would fall apart. Put it together, it would fall apart. Now it's in there, now I'm fixing to weld it so it don't fall apart no more. See, I just broke it. Just put it on and put that on. Great.
Would you take some water? Just because you need it.
Didn't I grab my helmet?
Oh, you might have left it in the truck. Let me see. Well, there goes some hay down there. Tractor pulling hay. guess I should stand back, I guess. Oh no!
My shoe and burnt my foot.
Oh, you burnt your foot. Oh, that's not cool.
Sun's coming over the top, blinding me. Ow! Burnt the sunburn.
So I want to thank everybody that joined us in our spontaneous live last night. We went on for about 2.5 hours, close to it, 2.5 hours. It was very spontaneous. I didn't know that Stephen was going to be doing a live. I had no idea. I was editing and getting ready to upload a video in the next room, and he was on his desktop computer in the room next to the room I was in, and he said, "Yep, and we're live." And he's done that to me multiple times, and I didn't know he was going to do that. So we had a spontaneous live that lasted almost 2.5 hours, and we had a lot of interaction, a lot of fun interaction on that live last night. And I think at one time we had 25 people at one time. And so thank you. I mean, 25 was the most we had watching us at one time. Oh. So I want to thank you all for those of you that watched us live and participated in the interaction. I had not been live since April the 17th. So I guess I was overdue. Over 2.5 months not being live. I guess I was overdue. And but it was fun. We had a lot of fun laughter, a lot of great laughter, interacting with those that hopped on. And it was the funny part is that we had somebody that was watching our live whose YouTube handle is Welcome Home Cheesecake. That was their YouTube handle, Welcome Home Cheesecake. And I didn't realize that at first, and I thought that they were calling Stephen a cheesecake. I thought before I appropriately read that it was their YouTube handle, I thought this person was saying to Stephen, "Welcome home, cheesecake." And I just thought that was pretty funny. And Stephen loves cheesecake, by the way. It's one of his weaknesses. He loves cheesecake. And so the more that Welcome Home Cheesecake interacted with us, the more Stephen started thinking about cheesecake. And he just couldn't get it off his mind. And so we were just sitting there talking and interacting with everybody. And then all of a sudden Stephen got up and he said, "Well, I'm going to the store to go buy a cheesecake mix." And I mean, we don't live like locally next to any stores. He had to drive at least 12 miles to go to the closest Dollar General store. Because we live in Mennonite territory, like almost like I would say at least half of our neighbors all around us are horse and buggy people. And we have a post office in Cerulean, and that's it. Well, then we have the Mennonite stores. We have a Mennonite store, and we have a produce stand that's open seasonally during produce season. Like a farmer's market, like a Mennonite farmer's market type of thing. But we don't have a Dollar General store or a Walmart. I mean, we don't have any non-Mennonite businesses except for the post office. And we don't even have a gas station in Cerulean. We don't have a traffic light. We don't have a gas station. Cerulean is just really a rural farming community, a dot on the map in Trigg County, Kentucky. Now the county seat is Cadiz, Kentucky, and that's where in Cadiz we have all of our stores and traffic lights and all that, and our courthouse and commerce and so forth. But we live out what they call out in the county. We're not in city limits. So he went to extreme measures last night to go get a cheesecake mix, and I stayed on the live while Stephen was gone, and was being highly entertained by our subscribers and viewers. Got some good laughs out of that, and we stayed on the whole time Stephen was gone to the store to get a cheesecake mix, and then he came back and whipped up that cheesecake mix. So it wasn't a pre-made cheesecake. It was a Jello cheesecake mix. And he went to the kitchen right away and whipped it up while I was still talking to our viewers. And by the end of our live, he had produced a cheesecake with some strawberry toppings. We had just bought some fresh strawberries from the produce stand, the Mennonite produce stand. And so he put some fresh strawberries on there. And we were eating cheesecake at the end of our live, and so I actually called last night's live the Cheesecake Live. And it is a time commitment. It is 2.5 hours, but there's a lot of comedy in that live, a lot of fun things that were said and done. And so if you are looking to fill some time today on your holiday as a background distraction, if you're in the kitchen preparing food for any event tonight, for tonight's 4th of July celebration, and you just want something playing in the background, but you're not gonna watch word for word, but you just want some noise in the background, then I just highly encourage you to go to our live tab and pull up the Cheesecake Live. In fact, I will actually use that as an end screen at the end of this video. When I upload this video, I will put the Cheesecake Live on our end screen just to encourage you to watch that. It was fun. It was just fun, and you saw a side of us that you perhaps wouldn't see a side to us otherwise. And so that's kind of what lives are all about. They're not scripted, and they're shaped and molded by the conversation that you're having at the time with your subscribers and your viewers. So there's no way to edit, script, or mold, or cut out anything from a live. It is what it is. It's a live. And so those can be pretty fun. And obviously they're highly unscripted, and you just have to roll with the punches. So I can't tell you enough how much I'm just trying to encourage you to watch it, because it was fun. And then, like I said, the incredible part was that I kept the live going while Stephen went to go get a cheesecake mix, and then we ended our live with us eating cheesecake. That was pretty funny. So it's called the Cheesecake Live. And just think, all of that came about because somebody's YouTube handle was Welcome Home Cheesecake. It's funny.